Welcome in, everybody. Josh here from 8-Bit Goonies. Question for you. Answers below, please. Very curious. What is your favorite Steven Spielberg film? Not not the best necessarily, or the most whatever criteria you use to judge your favorite or best film, but what's a Steven Spielberg movie that you can watch over and over again? I'm not saying there's just one either. There's definitely more than one out there for me. I love Jurassic Park. Anything from obviously Indiana Jones, the first three films are magnificent. Jaws. I love Jaws. I watched Jaws the other night. Such a good movie. But I don't know. I want to talk about Duel. Duel and Steven Spielberg and his filmmaking. Um, this movie, this movie is awesome. For those, I've mentioned it before on the channel, and I just wanted to talk about Duel today. I watched it last night. It's my second viewing in the past month of this, but I wanted to give it a full go on the full Dolby Atmos setup because this has Dolby Vision. It has Atmos surround sound, and I watched it last night, and I honestly just wanted to jump in to get some screenshots, and I ended up watching the whole movie. And not only that, but when I was done, I wanted to get some screenshots from the opening scene because the opening scene is awesome. We'll talk about all that here in a minute, but I was like, I could literally start this movie over right now and watch it again. That's how good it is. That's how good it is. So I've got some notes here, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. But it's limited storytelling. It's beautiful cinematography. It's a fun story. Um, it, it's one of those. I have a history with this movie too. It's one of those that was on at grandma's house all the time. Like when growing up in the '80s, it was one of those that was just. It was a made-for-TV movie, so it was made for ABC back in '71, I believe it was 1971 on this one. Yes, '71. Spielberg's first film. He was 24 years old when he made this. It was written by Richard Matheson. So if you don't know who Richard Matheson, I highly recommend reading, not watching. I've never seen the movie, but reading I Am Legend. Okay, I Am Legend is an awesome book, and I can't recommend it enough. I've never even seen the Will Smith movie. I've heard it was. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Some people I've heard it's not that faithful to the book. And as a huge fan of the book, I just I don't know. I'm not just haven't taken the time to watch it, but I'll watch Duel two or three more times certainly. Um, so yeah, made by young Steven Spielberg, his first big production, and it was made for ABC. It had theatrical release overseas, but growing up, I only saw it on TV. It was just one of those that would come on Sunday afternoon, Saturday evening commercials. You just catch it. It'd be on in the background, on a little whatever 27-inch TV, poor reception. So though I liked it, I've never like seen it like this, right? This 4K full restoration. It it looks beautiful, beautiful. Um, so it follows the story basically. Dennis Weaver plays um David Mann. Excuse me, David Mann. So it follows David Mann, played by Dennis Weaver. Like he is in every scene of this movie, literally nearly every frame, and he is fantastic. He is such a good actor. Um, he was in older television, like Gunsmoke and some other stuff like that, but he wasn't. Uh, you don't. He's not the most recognizable guy, and I think that lends to it. He's got just such an everyman's feel. And he does act like every man. That's what I like about this movie is it feels real. What would you do in this situation? And it's it really does have that feel of I'm thinking what would I do? Well, he kind of does what I would do. There's not what do you do? 1971, there's no cell phones. You're on this back roads country journey out of LA to the middle of nowhere and this truck starts stalking you. And his reactions are, get to the payphone, call the police, go to where there's people, try to find civilization. And he finds kind of along the way that is everybody against me, and he starts building this paranoia, and it's so good. Um, I just have some notes. It was shot in 13 days. It was really kind of just let's get out there and let's get this thing in the can. There's no special effects, no CGI. Everything was done in camera. They drove trucks off of the cliff. They everything that you see is done, and there's such cool shots. The road shots where like he's coming over the hill and he catches up to the camera, but then the camera is clearly on a truck or something, and like a crane, and it catches up, and we match his speed, and then and same with the truck. So many cool shots of under the axle or on top of the truck, and it's all like the cinematography. Even the beginning, the opening scene is fantastic. So the movie starts off literally we pull out of the driveway with him. We go on this whole from this house to the end of the film. We're with David Mann in this little Plymouth. I think it's a Plymouth Valiant. Um, and we start on the hood, or not even the hood, like the bumper of the car, and we drive and we leave LA, and then we get out into the country and starts getting more rural, and it's so cool. And then all of a sudden, within like 5 minutes, this Peterbilt truck, the villain of the movie, is just a truck. We don't see the person in it. Few scenes in 4K you can kind of see the guy, but he's hidden very well. And brave filmmaking here as well, because they use a lot of dirty windscreens, and again, it makes it feel real. Um, gets reflections. You even get to see Steven Spielberg if you look close enough, and I'll show you that here in a bit. Um, but you see early signs of what Spielberg would become in this fantastic, um, stylized. Like Spielberg kind of has his own style, and once you start looking for things, you can really see it. Um, he does point of view shots. We get that in Jaws. We get it. He really likes some of the point of view stuff. Um, long tracking shots, long takes, like I was talking about the car coming over the hill, and we get these beautiful shots where we match their speed and we stay with it. Um, it minimal dialogue, very there's not hardly any dialogue, nor is there much music. And the music that we do get is really well done. It's done from the radio. So he has a radio in his car. At the beginning, he's listening to talk radio. So that's kind of the ambient background noise. There are a few scenes where there is music, but it's coming from the stereo. It's what's playing on the radio. So I think that's just so cool how he makes even the ambient music, the background noise. It's trucks, it's the roar of the motors, and it's the radio that would be making sound. Um, Something else that Spielberg does so good is the horror in broad daylight. He would carry this on in Jaws, right? Like, let's let the audience see everything. We don't need to hide in the shadows. We don't need to jump scare. We don't need to what's out there in the dark. No, no, no. It's broad daylight. The whole movie happens in broad daylight, and it happens over the course of an afternoon. Uh, I love that. He also does, Spielberg does like repetition um, to build tension, right? So he brings these, you know, shot, but you can tell it's building to something. It's gonna erupt, and it does boil over at the end, and it's so cool. Definitely see the early shades of one of the best directors of all time. I say Spielberg's probably my number two director of all time behind Stanley Kubrick. Um, so yeah, when I saw that this movie was in 4K, I was just ecstatic. And I'm not going to go through the whole movie breakdown, but there are definitely some scenes I want to talk about that are just fantastic. But before we get into any spoilers or anything, I just want to say check it out, 4K. If you get a chance to watch this with an Atmos system, with a nice setup, good TV, it's fun, and it's literally one of those I could go watch it right now and I might after this review. Um, so anyway, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's dive into the film a little bit. Like I said, I'm not gonna go through the whole movie, um, because I really want you to see it if you haven't, and if you have seen it, then congratulations, you've seen such a good film. Again, I have a great history with this movie. I probably saw it maybe 10 times growing up over the years. Again, pieces here, parts there, not necessarily the whole film, but definitely I was aware of it. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I I I want to say my wife and I streamed it on some service, and again, really enjoyed it. And then as soon as I saw the disc, oh, I bought it. And since I bought it less than a month ago, I watched it twice. I watched it again last night, and it's going to be a, a regular in the rotation for me. Um, so yeah, like I said, the opening scene's fantastic. We get the car pulling out from the driveway. We're with him the whole day on his bumper. You don't get to see anybody at first. Literally the car's perspective. The cars really do become characters in this. It's the his little Plymouth versus the big Peterbilt truck that is super cool, super scary. You can see shades of um Jeepers Creepers, things like that that were like these road trip horror movies. Like a lot of inspiration probably came from this movie right here. So yeah, we pull out of the driveway. Again, we start in LA, and he's going to meet a client. You gather the pieces throughout the story is that he's going to meet a client, and we don't even know. I don't think we know what business he's in, and it doesn't really matter. Um, but literally within about 5 minutes out of town, not out of town, but 5 minutes into the movie, we get a uh, gradual jumps. And the other thing I want to say about this is the Atmos sound. Even at the opening scene, he's going through tunnels in LA as he's leaving town, and the surround sound is so unreal. As you enter the tunnel, and as you leave the tunnel, it goes away. Enter another tunnel, and go like the sound that they've mastered in this is just perfect. Perfect. I absolutely love it. And as he gets a bit further out of town, we start to get, you know, the rural settings. We get these beautiful long shots of the cars driving, and so yeah, these beautiful vista shots are just fantastic. We get out of town, and like I said, within 5 minutes, we meet this Peterbilt truck, and the first time we meet it is just he's coming up on it. There's smoke billowing out of it, and he's talk about pollution. Some of again, very limited dialogue, but it's delivered very well. There's one downside to dialogue that I will talk about here. It actually comes up in one of my favorite scenes, but I think it's just a little unnecessary. And I think Spielberg learned a lot from making this movie, and we'll talk about that too. But the initial scene with the truck is he just passes it, and he gets past it, and he's just driving, and the truck just comes barreling by him. He's like, What the heck? Okay." And then the truck gets in front of him and starts to slow down. And he's like, "Hmm." You know, again, what would every man do? You're like, "Okay, is this guy messing with me? What? Okay." And then the truck, goes, waves him on. And he goes, and as he goes to pass him, there's a car coming head on. So it's like he set him up to be in a wreck. And the truck does a lot of things that are toying with its food, right? There's many chances where it could take out at least the car, if not David himself, but it doesn't do it. It toys with him. There's a few times where it clearly easily smashed the car at least because David's out of the car at the time, but it doesn't. It might pull it backs up right to at one point and has a chance to or pushes it into the train tracks. Anyway, it definitely plays and messes with him, and that's kind of this whole cat and mouse game. Who is this guy? What is it? What is this guy doing? Is he a psychopath? Is he just a road rage driver? And David, man, he plays it so cool, like every man. You can't understand why this is happening. Why is this truck doing this? Um, Lots of just scenes of him trying to pass the truck passing him, the truck waiting for him, things like that. But we get some great scenes. So early on, he pulls into a fuel station, pops up, and of course we get the guy checks under the hood and says, "Oh, you might need a new radiator hose." And yeah, where have I heard that before? Trying to sell me the radiator hose. Well, of course, that's foreshadowing for the end of the movie, and that'll come back into play. In fact, there's more than one mention of the radiator hose in this Plymouth. Um, at that stage, though, the truck pulls in next to him. We don't see the guy, but he gets out, and we do see that he's got cowboy boots on. So we know the guy's got cowboy boots. And there's a deduction game that he plays later on that's really cool. So they go on back and forth, and he sees a sign that says, the road stops 7 miles ahead or whatever. So they, again, chasing back and forth, passing, trying to avoid this truck. Uh, he ends up going. What's funny too is they show the speed, and it's like 45, 50, pushing 50. He's going real fast. And 71, 50, 55. That was, speed limits. That was pushing it. Uh, he gets up to like 80 at one point. Whoa. Today that's just like going slow on the highway, right? Um, so that's interesting to see the difference in highway travel as we know it today. Um, he does find advantages too. On You can't beat me on the grade, he finds out. So if he can find a hill to go up, he can get ahead of the truck. But as soon as they crest that hill, it's over. The truck can catch him. So that plays into throughout the movie as well. So he gets to the diner. It's like a cafe, diner, road stop. One of the coolest scenes in the movie. And actually, the truck's really pushing him at this point, and he comes crashing into fences and makes like almost wrecks. And everybody's kind of like, "Whoa, what's going on? What are you doing?" Like they just think he's crazy at this stage. He goes in and he orders a Swiss and rye, a cheese sandwich is what he wants. So he's sitting there, and he goes into the bathroom first though, and he washes himself up. And we get this is the part I honestly I don't like, and I think Spielberg learned from this. The show don't tell mentality. We get inner dialogue, and we don't get a lot of it in the movie. And um, the thing is that Dennis Weaver is such a good actor. I don't think you need the inner dialogue. Everything he says is thinking, man, why me? Wha- Man can't even drive down the road without being murdered these days. But he's saying it all with his face so well. I don't think we need that inner dialogue. And if you notice, after that, Spielberg does not use inner dialogue anymore. And I think he's learned show, don't tell from this movie. Um, you don't need it. Weaver is such a good actor that everything he's thinking, I get from his face, from his expression. You really don't need for him to tell you what he's feeling. It's all right there on his face, and in the sweat on his brow and the situation that he's in. Right. So he comes out of the bathroom of the diner, and the truck's parked outside. So he's looking around. There's like five guys at the bar. There's a guy playing pool. There's a guy by the front window. Thinking, oh, he's in here with me. So we play this game of deduction with him. So he scans, and first he sees cowboy boots. Oh, they all have cowboy boots on. Okay. And they're all kind of looking at him because he's kind of freaking out. So of course everybody at the restaurant's gonna be like, "Who's that guy?" Because these probably all regulars, at least some of them. At one point, he thinks it's this guy, and he goes out, and the guy actually runs his hand on the truck, like that's him. But no, the guy gets in a different truck and drives off. So with no real evidence of anything, he goes up to this one guy and he's like, "Just cut it out." I was like, "Cut what out?" He just eat a sandwich. He's like, "I'll call the police." I was like, "What?" Just clearly not the guy. And they actually get into a fist fight. Um, and the owner of the place comes out and is like, "Just get the hell out of here! Get the hell out of here!" And then the truck leaves. So we still don't know who is in there. Um, Another scene that's great as they're going down the road. He's trying to find a payphone, right? So he can call the police. He pulls off at this. I don't know what it is. It's a fuel station. It's a gas station. But this lady also has snakes and reptile farm. She has like a Komodo dragon and rattlesnakes and giant tarantula spiders. Um, and she's got a phone booth, but it's set up right in the middle of all these animals. And this is actually the scene where we can see Spielberg. Uh, David Mann walks into the phone booth, and boom, there's the glare. Boom, there's Spielberg. You could see him, long hair, definitely him, no doubt about it. Uh, so as he's calling the police, the truck just comes plowing through, nails the phone booth, but also smashes all these cages, like literally releasing rattlesnakes and Komodo dragons and tarantulas. He's got tarantulas on his legs, and there's snakes trying to bite him. This lady comes running out. She's got like it's a weird place. She's got like the snake oil salesman cart out the front, like a gypsy cart selling who knows what, and but it's such a great scene. It really works. It adds to this whole fun and creative, just the vibe of the countryside that we're going through. It's so cool. I love that scene. Um, and then eventually the chase. Oh, actually, we do get another funny scene. Not too that far after that, he comes across David Mann's driving, and the truck's gone at this stage. We don't know where it is. Um, but there's a school bus broke down on the side of the road with like 10 kids and the school bus driver. And they're just out kind of playing, and the bus driver waves them down. He's like, I need you to push my car with your car, push the bus with your car to get us going. Obviously, this shit would never fly today, but back then, yeah, let's give it a go. So, actually, David Mann doesn't want to do it. He's like, I don't want to push your car. We're going to get caught up. So eventually, he's pushing the bus, and sure enough, his bumper gets stuck under the bus bumper. And they don't, and the kids are making faces at him, and then here's that truck. Awesome shot through the tunnel ahead of him, silhouetted. Such a cool, powerful shot. That truck headlights turn on, and he's like, "Get on the bus," telling the kids. And the bus driver's like, "They're all right as long as they aren't in the road. They're what's the harm?" He's like, "Get in the bus." So, um, eventually, in a panic, David Mann starts bouncing on the hood of his car, gets his car unhooked, jumps in, and speeds off. The truck pulls around and pushes the school bus. He's kind of friendly. And we also there's a lot of scenes with a train. So this train is kind of keeping up with him and passing him. And it's like they're in cahoots. They're always honking the horn of the train and the horn of the truck, like they're in cahoots with each other. Kind of, you know, how you doing? He's up here. It's kind of strange, but again, is it just paranoia or is everybody really out to get this guy? Hard to say. Um, so not long after that, we get some other intense shots. Again, a few times the truck has a chance to take him out or drive. One point, David Mann gets out of the car and he's up on a kind of the hill looking down, and the truck backs right up to his car. Literally could just smash it, but then it just pulls up and it waits. Like, come on, we're still playing, and that adds to the creep factor, right? Um, so we kind of come into the finale. He's again can't beat me on the grades, so he finds actually this area where he's going up a steep hill, and he's passing the truck, but that we see the thermostat, and then boom, the radiator hose blows, and smoke just starts bellowing out from underneath and shooting out of the hood, and oh man! But he knows if I make it to the top, I probably coast down and at least try to put some distance between me and the truck. So he pushes it, makes it to the top, goes down, and he's coasting down, but that truck's coming. Um, so eventually he pulls off, makes it to like an old, an old quarry, some sort of mine area, um, and he the ending scene is fantastic. Like it's so amazing. Truck's coming at him. He wedges this briefcase on the gas pedal. He gets his car started again, and he wedges that underneath the gas pedal. And he's like out the window, like, come on. And they're coming at each other. And last minute, he jumps out, and the truck smashes his car, and they both go over the cliff. Again, all done in camera, wrecking real cars. You drove this Peterbilt truck off of the cliff. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, it's epic, and we get multiple shots of the truck tumbling and falling in slow motion, and in that 4K beautiful set, it's so good looking, and it smashes. And then we get some awesome scenes up from the truck at David Mann looking down. He's jumping, he's victorious, and he kind of just sits down and credits roll. And it's a beautiful sunset scene behind him. Um, Again, the whole movie takes place in a day, all in daylight. I can't recommend it enough. I'm gonna I do star ratings. So the other night I gave Dirty Harry 3.5 stars. This is far better than Dirty Harry. This is a 4 star, teetering on 4.5 stars from me. Like, this is such a fun movie. It's short too. That's what's nice. It's like an hour and 25 minutes in and out the door, and that includes 5 minute opening sequence as well. You can't go wrong with this one. If you're a Spielberg fan, if you're a fan of like road trip outdoor, it has a bit of horror, suspense, thriller, and it's an everyman type movie. There's no superheroes in this. He's just a normal guy trying to get to do to a business associate of his to do some business, and he feels like it could be anybody who just crosses paths with the wrong person on the wrong day and has to fight for his life to get out of the situation. So, Duel 4 to you know, I saved my 4.5, and I 5 stars are very. I've got a very few movies because 5 stars are the cream of the crop. 4.5 stars are like movies I could watch over and over. This is right there. Um, so yeah, 4.5 stars. Duel is so much fun, you guys. Please go out and check it out if you haven't seen it. Um, but yeah, it's great. So again, thanks to everybody for watching. I'm really enjoying this 4K journey. I'm gonna keep going. I've got a great stack of movies to watch. I'm gonna keep reviewing them. I'm gonna keep talking about the sound, keep talking about the visuals, because that's why we're into this 4K world. Again, I didn't have as much faith in it as I should have, and now that I'm in it, I love it. So they're gonna keep coming. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. It means the world to me, and we'll talk to you soon.